Hey, Ben here with Stu in the Lake. This is part 2 of the Vampire Hunter Kit. Everybody needs a Vampire Hunter Kit. I mean, of course you do. So here's two of the antique ones that I found either on eBay or somewhere I looked. I looked them up, and they're going for thousands of dollars now. But not this modern one. So the first thing I did was a cross. That was the number one video that you saw a week or so ago, maybe 2 weeks ago. And then in my lap there is what we're going to build today. And that's going to be kind of a gargoyle looking stake. So this stake is going to be designed to be driven into his heart. All right. So that's what we're going to do today. Keep in mind, those of you that haven't seen him for a while, this is Jordy's plaque that he's going to give away. So follow Jordy on his 3 mushrooms and a gnome. But go over and check out Jordy Johnson's channel, and that 3 mushrooms and a gnome, he's going to give that out in August sometime. So here's 3 chunks of maple. I had some maple that I was working with for, I did a shield, and so I have chunks of maple laying in the stuga here. And I thought that'd make good for there. So I kind of had an idea, and I took them off of those, kind of a pattern off of those 2 kits that are in there. But to kill a vampire, supposedly, you need a stake, a wooden stake, and you just pound it into their heart. Well, there's no reason not to have those. It looks like we're going to end up with 6 different stakes. 3 of this square style, and then 3, I'll point out when we get to them. I got a couple of them done in the end. In fact, there's a mirror video coming up, Bible video coming up, carving a Bible. What else? There's a wooden sword coming up. I've got several videos carved, and I just haven't posted them yet. So here, I got an idea. You can see I drew the head on there. That would be the part. I want that to be kind of round. I had a gargoyle, bird beak, round head. I really didn't have a pattern. I'm just going to let it come about and see what would happen. I knew I wanted the stake to be kind of segmented into 3 pieces. The head, a centerpiece, another piece toward the bottom, and then obviously I'll sharpen it into a peg. So what I have in there is that's a saber burr. It's a green one. It's one of the more aggressive saber-tooth burrs. I almost use saber-tooth burrs exclusively now. In fact, I'm not buying any more burrs from Kutzall, and I won't go into that. I just have stopped purchasing Kutzall burrs, and I'm going exclusively with saber-tooth now. Though that's not going to be a good thing for there. There's some of the saber-tooth burrs will work just fine. They're about $15 a burr. I got to admit these are the Kutzall ones. The saber burrs are about $20 a burr, but I'm finding that the saber-tooth burrs last 4 or 5 times as long as the Kutzall ones do. And I'm just liking them a little bit better in that. In fact, a couple weeks, I've got an order of about $200 worth of burrs that are coming, and I will do a review of those when those come in, so you guys take a look at them. So when I was to build this guy, I kind of put a round nose on him. I knew he needed to have eye sockets up through there. I wanted 2 little ears to stick up, kind of like a parrot or an eagle. And then cheeks, and I'm using that same saber burr. That's in a handpiece that's an Oz 2 Plus. That's my go-to. It's a professional handpiece. It's going to set you back about $800, so I wouldn't recommend it. You'll see at some point in this where I'm running a cheaper one, which is iCube, a Ram iCube, and it's about $300. And if you're interested in those, there's reviews going back through the channel. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel, and this stuff is appealing to you, go ahead and subscribe. There's probably 200 videos. I occasionally do a review on various different things, etc., etc. So this had no plan whatsoever, but I knew it needed a cross in here because all the vampire stuff is based on religious themes in those days. So I'm doing kind of a high relief, and for some reason I decided that he needed nostrils under there, and that the head needed to fade down and then I'm going to put a ridge around the edge of it. So here I go. I'm cutting that ridge, and so his head's sitting up on a little ledge. And like I said, this has no plan. I'm just kind of letting this evolve as it goes along. And that's kind of the way the rest of them went. I mean, I had an idea of, after I finished this guy, I knew I needed to do 3 more of these, because when I put them in the kit and I'm going to do the box, I've got some glass vials coming, because supposedly vampires like sand and holy water needs to go in there, some rice. So there's how he's looking on the rough side. And here I thought he needed a segment. I didn't know what to do, so I've got some eye cutting deals, and they make nice little circles. So I thought a big circle, 3 little circles on the bottom, and then obviously I'm going to sharpen the end of the stake so you can pound it in. I did do a hammer. There's a video with a hammer that I haven't edited yet. So here's the neat part. These are eye cutting bits, and I don't know where I got them from. I got them off of Amazon, and they come in different sizes, and basically they kind of burnish and burn their way down there, but they come in different sizes, and they go in your drill, and they do a pretty nice job of putting a little round circle in there. It will save you a lot. So you can see I did 3 big ones in the middle, and then 6 on that side of the smaller. And now I'm going to draw a line between those, and then I'm going to put them in a frame or a cage, for lack of better reference, when I cut those off to the side. And once again, this is evolving as we go along. So now I've got basically 4 segments on this. Got the head segment, 2 segments in the middle, and then the bottom part will be sharpened. And you can see I put a little arrow on the end when in closing those, and then I will sharpen that on the end, and that will go in the box. 3 of those on one side, and then I have a fancier one that has breakaway tips on it that you'll see in a future video, and I'll give you a brief glimpse of that at the end. So I'd recommend sticking around to the end. You'll get to see some of the things that I've done for this kit that I haven't put the video together yet. So there's the plan. Again, that's maple. That's a wood burning pin from JPL Enterprises. It's a dual burner pin, and this is kind of interesting. I ended up with I think this is my favorite tip in there. I'm not sure if the video or not, but I ended up burning up the second of my reserve pin. So I use what they call a 10S, a little spear pin. I use this as a cut stop and to help me delineate the lines out on it. But I finally burned up, I can see that's a spear point. I burned that tip up, so now I've got 3 tips and 3 pins that are not usable. I got them off the side, and I'm going to have to box those up and send them back over to Pat at JPL Enterprises, and he will put a new tip in those, whichever one I want. Obviously, they'll be the 10S, the spear point, the little ones. It's the ones I use. But he'll do that for $7, whereas the original pin was $22. So he'll put that new tip in there for me, and then I'll get another year out of it. So here I'm using a ruby bit, and I'm cutting down and I'm taking the ground away from these circles. So I wanted to kind of be sitting in a cage. It's almost a ball in a cage scenario here. But I'm going to leave the little circles proud. It's just a design element that I thought I'd throw in there. It was easy to do. And that's a little spear point, a little ruby spear point, very small. And you have to get those. You can't get those on Amazon or from any of the carver places that make bits. You have to go to a wood carving place, like Rocky Mountain Wood Carvers or something like that. If you're really interested, just shoot me a line down below or an email comment, and I'll tell you exactly where I found those. But I like them. They're real small. They're kind of they're a spear point, but they're not. They're a little fatter, and they do nice to get down in on all the detail work that I've been doing lately with the commission stuff. And they do a nice job of cleaning this out, and they give you a little bit of room. That thing's running at 45,000 RPM, I think. I run it pretty much wide open. It is basically a Dremel, although a lot of these handpieces now they use them in dental work, where they're putting dentures together and making prosthetics and that sort of stuff, is where a lot of these can be found, and they're the exact same ones. If you buy them from a dental company, dental supply company, they usually come with a warranty, so if it breaks, you're able to get somebody to service them. So I'm just cleaning it up. There's really not a lot of excitement to this character here. I'm not going to show you doing the ones on the side because they're exactly the same. But I will come back and highlight and burn each of these. Now, fortunately, I have a couple pins left that have larger spear points, and I'm able to keep going while I'm waiting on Pat to put the tips in those. Pat's an interesting character. Some of you have bought some stuff from Pat over there. He's going to put these under a microscope, and yep, you see, I got the big skew in there now on that one. He's going to not do the pens for a month or two, and then I'll have to email him or call him and say, ask him when those pens are going to be done. He'll tell me that, oh yeah, I just started on those today, which he really didn't. That means he's getting ready to pull them off the shelf. And then in a day or two, he'll call me and tell me they put them under a microscope, and I'm messing them up because I'm sharpening them, obviously, and I shouldn't be sharpening them. I should be using this Secret Squirrel paste that he has, and yada, yada, yada. So I've learned that you just agree with Pat, and life is good. No sense in arguing with him. He's one of those, those people that you don't argue with. You just nod your head. Arguing's kind of a waste of time. So you can see I'm going to do the two on the left and the two on the right, the same as the center one there. And then I'm going to sharpen the end of that thing. And I'm not going to cause you great pain, but I put a little eagle head on there. So there's the end of the stake getting sharpened. I think in the old days, if you really wanted to, you would put a little flame to that, because flame was supposed to harden that sort of stuff. So there it is. It's got a coat of shellac on it. You know that I like the shellac. I put a coat of shellac or 2 coats, take a little bit off of the steel wool, and then I'll rub those down with wax, and they give you a nice smooth finish. You can see I also went back and put little pluses or crosses inside the circles on that guy just to doll that up just a tad. So there's the first 2 videos. There's the hammer that's going to go with that. I'm not real fond of the hammer. I probably will redo the hammer. You can see the cross in the background. That's my box of Skinny popcorn. I like Skinny popcorn. You can see the mirror in the corner there. That's the one we just did. And I'm kind of setting the box there to give you an idea of how big this kit's going to end up being. So it's going to have the cross in the center. It's going to have a lid and a box just like these other ones. I'm not 100% fond of this mirror. I did a lot more burning and light carving than I did. There's my camera set up in the background. How cool is that? With a little fan on it to blow crap away. I may redo the mirror on that. I'm not sure. But the way I'm laying it out right now, I'm looking at probably 3 of the larger stakes on the left there. Or the right, who knows? You can see it's going to have to be a lot bigger than that box. So here's another one that was going on there. I just, again, kind of changed the different designs in there. I did a little Bible. There's going to be a video on just a quick Bible. That was actually a lot of fun to do. I tried to buy a little Bible off of eBay, and they're ridiculously priced. And I figured since this was a wood carving, what the heck? Who would know, right? But there's a little Bible on there. And then here's a quick preview of the next style. The next style has that bottom part of that stake is designed to break away. And then you just put a new deal on it. So there we go. You can see the different setups in there. And that's kind of what we're going to end up with. And this is going to be a 6, 7, 8, 9-part video. So I'm going to build the case too. So hey, thanks a lot for watching. This has been Ben with Studio on the Lake. Like, comment, and subscribe. And hey, thanks a lot.